Hey guys, Brent Hull here. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for collaborating with this effort and as we try to build the Bible of American millwork. You know, when I pitched the book, I pitched it two ways. I pitched it that we could study the millwork in the Georgian era, the millwork in the Federal era, the millwork in the Victorian era, and all the reviewers came back and said, yeah, that's not gonna help. The other way I pitched it was, let's do moldings, let's do doors, let's do mantles, let's do stairs, that kind of thing. And so keep it by topic as opposed to keep it by architectural styling. Both kind of make sense to me, but it was clear that the reviewers thought, no, I don't want to be looking at moldings going, okay, there's George moldings, and flipping back through all the pages. So the way we're organizing the book is by type, okay? So doors, windows, moldings. My brain works like I can remember architectural periods, and so how do you do that? And so today I wanted to just talk about how we plan to do it. Obviously we haven't done it yet, we're digging into this material, but let's say the 1920s, right? This is a 27 millwork catalog filled with, you know, there's moldings in the back. If I flip to moldings, right, and so I know what was available for moldings in the 1920s. In the 1820s, there is no molding catalog. What were they using? They were using pattern books. Asher Benjamin was available at that time. So as we go back farther, we're going to have to look at different elements. There are some things that are available today that can help us study them. Winter Tour, right? The book I did on Winter Tour, the relationship I have at Winter Tour, the videos that you see on my YouTube page and the Bill Show page about Winter Tour is awesome, right? You see Georgian and Federal and Greek Revival. Awesome details. So those are historic rooms. Those are primary sources that we can actually go back and go, well, look, this is what was available. Now, the great thing about Winter Tour, it's not just high-style Philadelphia houses. If you think about, you know, Philadelphia in the 1750s, it was the New York of America, right? It was the richest town, the best craftsmen. It was where all things were happening. Understanding and studying those things. So we're going to look at historic buildings. We're going to look at historic rooms like at Winter Tour. Colonial Williamsburg, right? There are places that we can go and actually study period rooms and study period things. The White Pine series. White Pine series is a collection of, you know, architectural monographs from 1920 into the 1940s. This is a bound collection, but you know, there are houses and styles and exteriors and stuff done of important houses, some of which have now been, you know, torn down, where we'll be actually able to study things that were chronicled and dated in the 1920s, 1930s that will help us, you know, infuse and build this up. There's HABs. Historic American Building Survey. Same kind of thing, Great Depression kind of effort where we got back, we were studying and chronicling and drawing historic buildings. So we are going to slowly build up and, you know, put together a catalog of buildings and types so that we can start putting them together. The other thing that's going to happen in this book is we're going to talk about the construction of it. And we are going to, you know, how are moldings made in the Georgian and the pre-industrial era? We're going to look at molding planes. We're going to look at, you know, the kind of things that were made. There are books that chronicle, you know, plane manufacturers, right? Those were the manufacturers of the shapes and the moldings and stuff that would have been popular. What were they looking at? So there is information out there that we can look at and kind of put together, but probably the most time spent here will be trying to catalog that. Now, the way I plan to do it, right, is building a big whiteboard. You know, I love those war boards on our job sites. I will have a collection of, these are our sources, this is our time frame, this is our houses, and it's going to be hard because there are, you know, Georgian style houses that were built in the Federal era, right? And there's Federal things that last way into the Greek Revival era. So there will be transitional things. It won't be perfect. It'll be a little bit messy, but hopefully that when you look through and study this stuff and we do moldings, let's just stay there, we understand what was happening in the Georgian period, the Federal period, Greek Revival, Victorian, arts and crafts, period revival, into the ranch area, and, you know, maybe part of today. So, right, you will have this breadth of information and this breadth of stuff studying moldings. That will make you, I think, a better craftsman, a more in-tuned homeowner, a better architect, right? Because you will have this volume of information that isn't available today. And that was one of the fun things that came out of the reviews from the experts. Basically, this kind of document doesn't exist. So very humbly, I look at this thing and say, how did I get myself in this mess, right? How did I decide to put together the Bible of millwork manufacturing and how things are put together? There are holes in my thinking. And I believe that sharing this opportunity and sharing this process, you guys will be able to come along beside me and say, hey, Brent, don't forget about this. Hey, we need to do this. Talk to these guys. That's the kind of collaboration I'm hoping we can share together on this channel as we build this book so we can create this Bible of architectural millwork in America. Episode 4 will all be about getting organized, right? 4,000 volumes of books here. How do you get organized? How do you put it all together? I'm going to stack up the books. We're going to show you the breadth of information that we have just in our library and start getting our minds around how to get organized. Come join me.